Hello, Wrack City Bitch fans. It is Big Deno here today, and we have another episode, very exciting, of a Wrack City Bitch. I'm drawing to the end of my theory machine sessions, and as a result, I'm sort of getting to the bottom of the barrel in terms of the knowledge and the plans that I have for some of these casters, but I'm pushing on. The caster I've decided to look at today is eFeora 2, the Protector of the Flame. And the reason I've selected her, she actually was... I tried a few games with Menoth about 12 months ago to get a bit of an idea for the faction, knowing that I would be coming down this path eventually. And I tried her with a Judicator and played a couple of games, and I was, fairly successful. It's a good combination. But it didn't quite click for me. I wasn't ready to play the list or the faction at the time, so... But let's have a bit of a look through her, and I'm going to see if I can figure out why that's the case. So, it's pretty good stat line for a Menoth caster with Def 15, Armor 17. She is one of the few Menoth warcasters that will survive a Snipe Feet Go assassination from Raven. She has Mat 7, which is always nice, with Speed 6 and a Reach weapon that is Power 14. 16 health, pretty solid. She's got Caustic Presence Fire, so fire never goes out in her 12-inch control area, which can be fairly useful. And she inspires Flame Guard, so they never run away, also fairly useful. That's actually one that's super useful, but I mean in Menoth, it's just like, oh well, whatever. But in every other faction, you'd be begging for that, except for Crix. Righteous Flames. If you aim within 2 inches of it, you set on fire. That's pretty fucking sick. And Warjack Bond, she can allocate 4 focus to a Warjack, and they also have a fire continuous effect on their weapons. Another final thing to note about her initial stat card is she has a Spray 10, and she is Rat 5. Both of which are very, very solid. So in Menoth, you tend to have a lot of jacks, and this chick has the spell to make it happen, which is Escort. +2 speed on Menoth jacks is a bit fucking awesome. It's a self-upkeep. She has no other self-upkeeps, although she does have Ignite, so she can throw... I mean, immediately, those two things make her a top-shelf Menoth caster. She has the ability to run jacks at incredible value, and her feat also allows you to have extreme potency for one turn. She has some other shit spells. Convection, good luck casting that. It's just your basic... What's that spell called? Shitty Nuke? Whatever the word for that is. Anyway, she's got a 3-inch AoE, which is Power 14, pretty cool. She's got Fire Step, which is an out-of-activation movement shenanigan, which I'm a big fan of on a Warcaster. A little bit more speed and agility allows you to get from objective or flag or whatever to control. So Fire Step's pretty good. Also gives her a legitimate assassination threat, not quite as good as eFeora. But she goes to 9, 12, 14 inches with a potential Power 16 Weapon Master. Weapon Master? No, just Reach. So what is it about eFeora that is awesome? Her feat sets any guy that's on fire in her control area. She gets a focus point, which she can immediately allocate to her jacks. And she can then move the fire around onto guys. So generally speaking, if you're playing a faction like Crix, you'll usually have no Statixis Raiders after your first turn, because she'll just go bloop, 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 set all her own dudes on fire, Temple Flame Guard or whatever, stabbing each other in the back, and then just go bloop and transfer it over. One other way to do that has a slightly more value is to lob Redeemer AoEs or Judicator AoEs onto the Statixis Raiders who are immune to blast damage, set them all on fire, she moves up so that they all die, and then you also get the focus to allocate to your jacks, which is cool. It's got a bit of an order of activation issues because you kind of want your jacks to go after that. but to set them all on fire, you kind of need to have your jacks go before that. So you've got some issues with the feet that immediately seem like it would be challenging to play her. So you sort of want to have a few other methods of setting guys on fire. Visigoth Raven, for example, is probably one that's pretty good, but yeah. Look, I think eFeora is a great warcaster, and she definitely is one that I do want to play. And I think the reason why she's seen a lot of play in competitive formats and in 3-list formats is because of her immunity to fire, which makes her a very legitimate Legion drop. When you consider the fact that you also have Warjacks that Legion don't generally like seeing, like it's often hard to shoot down a Warjack or whatever. So you can utilize her Peaches en route. Look out. Yeah, so your type of list that you're going to be playing is one that a traditional Legion list might perhaps struggle a little bit with. So, Escort giving her Warjacks the speed to match it with Legion heavies. In fact, a Reckoner goes to threat range 12, which is the same as an Angelius. And you can also fire on the Angelius. It's assault rather. You've just got, yeah, just add some value. So I think she's pretty good. I'd like to actually play a few games without the Judicator, because one thing I'll recommend right now is if you play with a Colossal in a list that you've just started playing, it doesn't give you a true indication of a win-loss ratio, because generally if you lose a Colossal, you lose the game. It's not always true, but in some cases, most cases, it is. And so I lost the Colossal in both of the games, and it sort of made it feel like I was in an unwinnable position from there. I actually did win both games, but it was a struggle for me to visualise the game panning out in a positive way. I just got sort of very despondent about it. So maybe that was why I wasn't fucking enjoying it, because I was playing with a Colossal and didn't really understand the factional that well. Anyway, I'm going to just have a quick look at Chain Attack's rating for eFeora 2, because that'll be interesting. Chain Attack actually did rate Resnick 2 recently, gave him an F, which I find hilarious because I think he could be quite good. So we'll see how that shakes out. eFeora 2, there we go. 6 for feet, yep. Board control 5, yep. Synergy 7, yep. Aggression 6, yep. Survivability 7, yep. B+. Probably don't disagree with any of those ratings, to be actually honest. Jay, jolly good show, chap. Trevor, well done. Scott, you're shithouse, but I love you anyway. Did you guys see that there was a comic made about me the other week? Fuck, that's awesome. Those guys, man. Legends. Anyway, good job, Chain Attack. Done well on that one. So let's crack back on to some other stuff. We'll talk about Temple Flame Guard very quickly, and then I might start to wind this whole process up and talk about the next few episodes of Wrack City Bitch. So I'm just waiting for War Room to load again, because apparently it closed down when I exited out. That's okay. I love you, War Room. It's not your fault. I do actually love War Room, you know. It's been really good. I play it every tournament now. Never had a problem with it. Temple Flame Guard, 4/6 unit, great. Shield Wall, great. The UA has ranked attacks. Oh, you get Terror. I didn't know Terror. I thought it was just fire. That's fucking awesome. So if you got them with eFeora, they cause Terror and they're fearless. Legit. Set defense, awesome. Iron Zeal, awesome. So you've got a def effective 13, sometimes 15, armor 21 if you shield wall. If you have someone like Holy Ward or Defender's Ward, they get a def 17 from charges, which is fucking legit. And CMA is good. Mat 6, it's fine. They're a straight up and down, very simple unit that probably falls down ever so slightly due to their power 10. If they were power 11 or 12, it'd be fucking rock solid. Take him with Ayana and hold, I guess. It's pretty cool. Not much to say about Flame Guard, really. You take them in a lot of lists. They're just like your basic thing. When you've got like a Sanctifier or whatever. They're cool. Warjacks, let's talk about the Judi Judicator, because I talked about eFeora, and the Judicator to me feels like the best place with eFeora for it. Defense 8, Armor 19 is pathetic. Probably the worst stat block out of all of them, I think. Conquest is 720. Wild Wrath is 720. The Kraken's 1019, so it's got defense, and I've had a number of people miss the Kraken on attacks, which is huge. Yeah, not great. Mat 6, which is of course 8 with Acquire, that's good. Only speed 4. Shithouse! Power 20 on its fist, which is 22, which is equal to the Conquest, which is fucking rock solid. 2 Spray 8, Power 12 Flamethrowers, which cause continuous fire. 2 Range 14 Inaccurate Power 14 Rocket Pods. Effective Power 16 and Power 14 on both of those attacks. Legit. Automatically gets a focus point. Legit. 18 points, which is the cheapest of all the Colossals. And that, I think, is where it makes its money. So, I mean, Menoth have a number of very good Jack support solos, like the Vassal Mechanic and the Vassal of Menoth. And you can use the Vassal to ancillary 3 rocket pods in a turn, which is basically 6 AoEs that cause continuous fire with Feora. And that just kills all the infantry forever. You've got sprays, which... Rat 7 sprays, power 14 are fucking legit, right? And he can do that from, like, you keep your choir a little bit safer because he's got such a large base. He's just got to survive, and that's where your Vassal mechanics come in. I think you take 3 of them with him, maybe 2. And every turn you're just basically repairing. Because he needs to be up the front, midfield, and Menoth do not have a lot of great options to sit in front of him. I suppose you've got errants, haven't you, who could just self-sack to each other. I'd like to play a bit more with the Judicator, but I'd like to play a few games without the Judicator with Feora too, because I'd like to see how that works in terms of the focus efficiency of what she's got happening. I think it could be fairly respectable. So, good job, Judicator. Bonded to give him 4 focuses is cute too. I'll tell you one thing about Colossals that you often forget is the two-handed throw range you can get out of him. He's got strength 17, which means he can throw a model 9 inches. And he can do that from 2 inches away from his base, because he's got Colossal, so he always has reach even on his power attacks. So you can actually, you know, in a sense, you can get an 11-inch threat at knocking something down, and also taking a power 17 hit at the same time, by the way, with Mat 8. That's really good. I don't know how many times people have used that in games, but I've used it quite a lot with my Kraken. Used it a few times with the Conquest. The Kraken can actually do it under Scar's feet turn, and goes to power 20, which means he can throw 10 inches, which is fucking sick. But yeah, the thing about Colossals, and I guess it's true of anything in the game, understanding every facet of the rules of it is key to getting the best value out of it. I've said the same about cavalry on many occasions. Knowing how to use ride-by attacks, how to use impact attacks to get the best value out of your cavalry is so important to getting value from them. The same as Colossals, and I'd like to think that I'm quite good with them, but I probably am not very good with the Judicator, so maybe that's another reason why Feora was not quite singing for me. How many boxes have you got? 5, 6, 24, 48, 56, 60. 60 boxes. Pretty cool. Fun times, classic hits. You can throw Fortify on him from Tristan Durant. That I like. I like that a lot. Koya. Fuck, man, Koya is so good. Just like, you look at his Mat 6, you think, and then you go, oh, it's actually Mat 8. Not bad. Fuck yeah. For some reason I thought this guy had Spell Ward or Sacred Ward. But perhaps I'm getting confused with the new Inditer. Cool. Alright. That might bring it to a close. I've got some exciting things happening for the WTC now, which is unfortunately not something I can talk about on this podcast, at least until the army lists are released, and then I'll probably save that for the other blog that I've been doing, which is Journey to Poland. Done a few episodes of that, and we've got a podcast coming out soon too, which is going to be cool, with me and a couple of the other Australian guys. So keep an ear out for that. If you enjoy what I'm doing and what we're doing in Australia, feel free to leave a comment, let us know. We'd love to hear from all you guys. Had quite a few PMs and stuff about this, which has been really cool. It's you know, it's all a bit of fun. I try not to take myself too seriously, and the some of the things that come out of my mouth might be offensive sometimes, and if they are, suck shit. Not really meant to be offensive. Anyway, that's it. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch up with you for another episode of Wrack Bitch.